The stories we tell ourselves, and character assassination. I'm a professional dating coach and I teach guys how to understand the female mind. Now this can happen both ways, where either a male or female will tell themselves a story that actually not only character assassinates the other person, but destroys the relationship and their stability. Here's an example. I had a client he was like, every time I come home, like she doesn't want to have sex with me and I go downstairs in the basement. Now when I was talking to her, she said, well, all he does is look at porn and he doesn't care about me, he doesn't love me anymore, all it is sex. I said, how do you know that? Have you ever talked to him about it? To which she said, no, I just know that's what's going on. So then I told her, I'm like, so what if you're right? All right, no, that's right. I said, what if you're wrong? What if that's not what he does? What if he just goes downstairs to get away from life? Let's say he needs an hour to fucking decompress from work. And she said, so what? I said, so if he came upstairs after an hour of decompressing from work, how would you react? And she's like, well, not good, because he couldn't even spend time with me or associate with me. And I'm like, so if you understand that, why would he come back up? And then the rage and anger fled from her eyes. To which I said, what if you're right? And the anger came back. And I said, so what if he does, he comes home, he thinks you're disgusting because you're miserable all the time, and then goes downstairs and watches that? To which she said, well, then he's a POS. To which I said, what are you doing? Are you communicating with him to give him a viewpoint other than that he would want to associate and be with you? And her face softened, and I asked her, I want you to tell me back at the peak of your relationship, what was it like? To which she said that anytime I was around him, I felt happy, I felt safe, I felt at peace, I cared about him, and then it changed. To which I said, why did it change? To which she said, he only started caring about sex. Now keep in mind, I'm watching his facial expression from because I already knew this was going down this path, and I had already talked to him separately, and I explained what she was probably going to say. And Alpha Dom, of course, got it fucking spot on, bang on right. But I'm recalling what I saw in his face while I'm having this conversation with her. And the issue was as follows. Both sides started deteriorating at the same time, but she eventually mentioned the fact that she had those viewpoints before it started getting really bad. Now, the reality in the situation is that on both sides of a relationship failure, and 98% of the time, it's a failure on both sides. But our pride and our ego, or our sexism, or whatever you want to fucking call it, ends up costing us our side. Where we start telling ourselves stories that aren't true, that aren't real. But law of attraction states that whatever we focus on most comes true. Now, the fun part that law of attraction people don't talk about is 90% of those times, that story that comes true wouldn't have come true anyways. But because of our distorted viewpoint of the other person, then it came true. So the reality and the simple solution, as always, is communicate. When you start feeling things going sideways, you start feeling pulling away, have a conversation. Sponsor and nourish communication in a relationship, so when things start going sideways, you aren't holding it in. Because any type of darkness you throw into the basement and lock the door eventually gains strength. And when it comes through the floorboards, there won't be anything left to the house. You're welcome.